Two.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
Sorry, guys. I started the show. I didn't have the sound machine plugged in, the sound card. I've done this multiple times now, and I was so furious with myself. I straight up deleted the 2 minutes we had already started with. I would just start over. I don't care. That's the kind of time I'm on right now. I'm going to tell you about the kind of time Kawhi Leonard has been on after seeing him look extra bouncy last night at Intuit Dome.
Getting strong now.
With the Clippers winning 134-117 over the Houston Rockets in their final regular season game at Intuit Dome. Regular season, not postseason. We're getting close. We're almost there. And this is Clippers Talk. Day 188, 188 straight days.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
Follow Clippers Talk OT too as well. There is a fart noise at the end of this. I thank Bob Schmidt for making this promo for Clippers Talk. It's awesome. Apparently, he paid some, I don't know, AFI-like singer to do this part.
After every game, download every pod. Clippers.
Is that Jared Leto?
Every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
But then he still got a fart noise in at the end.
Or podcasts. Clippers. Clippers.
As Bob Schmidt is prone to do. Listen to him on the Fear the Throw podcast. He's the voice of AM 570 and Fox Sports Radio as well. One of the voices with the Dodgers. If you're watching games, you will recognize his voice. All right. Good show for you. I think we got a special guest coming up a little bit later. But I wanted to highlight the best thing I saw last night from this Clippers team. And believe it or not, it wasn't Ivica Zubac getting the triple-double.
It can always be worse.
Always be better, too, I guess. I don't know if he can be much better than that. He's not satisfied. He wants more. Zoo finished with 20, 11, and 10, the first triple-double of his career. Congratulations to Ivica Zubac. It was awesome to see. Bogey, his partner in crime, hit the three-pointer on the left wing on the DHO to get him to 10 assists that kept him in the ball game just for that reason. Ended up working out. If we have time, we'll hear from Coach Lou and some post-game audio as well. But before any of that, I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard looking like he can still jump out of the gym. Yeah. That's what I saw last night.
Getting strong now.
So I'm going to play you a couple of clips. Batum did play really good, Clay, but he also only played in the first half. Unfortunately, groin issue. Did have 15 points in the 7 minutes, all those points. So Kawhi had a dunk in transition in the first half. In the second half, he turned the corner on Tari Eason for a right-handed hammer. That dunk in transition in the first half, by the way, was special. It was on two guys. I think he had 3 made dunks, but then 2 missed dunks that were more impressive to me than any of the made ones, honestly. And it tells you what type of time he's on and how he's feeling right now. And nothing is more important than Kawhi feeling good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's everything. Kawhi's movement is everything when it comes to how far the Clippers can take this thing. Not just getting in the playoffs, but we're talking about making a deep run. If that's going to happen, Kawhi not only has to be healthy, but he has to be playing and moving at a very high level out there. And that's what I saw last night. So I want you to see something I just posted on X at Follow Adam A. The first missed dunk from Kawhi. I'll play that, and I'll play you what the dunk reminded me of. And then I'll play the second one too. If I don't have the audio on, it should be okay here. Looking for, yeah, I got it. Okay. Hold on for me. Hold up. Somebody's saying, "Put it up, Ben."
Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben.
Kawhi has been delivering that Green Ranger energy. Clearly, the candle, the wick, is not out. There's still plenty of wax on that candle. Yes, 2 more games left. Hopefully, you can stay healthy. This is always the hope. This is what I wake up and think about. Is Kawhi okay? How'd he feel when he woke up today? That's really all I care about. I'm locked in. That's where my mindset is always at. Kawhi's health. It's paramount. It's everything for this team. It always has been. Nothing new here. But last night, here was the first of 2 missed dunks, both coming in the fourth quarter, mind you, where he should have less energy. Here's the first one. I'll play it for you. Blows by his defender going left for a left-handed hammer and draws the foul. Cruel intentions with Reese Witherspoon or Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Felipe. Like, this is bad intentions to the rim by Kawhi. They're up by 8. There's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Kawhi is out there playing with extreme force, maximum effort, and explosion. They'll show another angle here of it. Top side view. He lost the basketball going up, got fouled by multiple guys. Here's what that dunk reminded me of. Had he had made it, I think it would have looked similar to this dunk from 2021 when the Clippers were about to make a run to the Western Conference Finals. In the first, I mean, this is the team they were going to see and did see in the Western Conference Finals, by the way, but this was still the regular season. Back at Staples Center, this is 2021. They're taking on Phoenix. Watch Kawhi here. Now, that was with the right hand, but the way he had to extend, the extension would have been similar. Look at this. On DeAndre Ayton. Pre-ACL, pre-meniscus, pre-swelling. So what about the second dunk that he missed last night? Yes, I'm more impressed with the dunks he actually missed. I'm telling you, it's meaningful to see him do it like that. It's all about his movement. It's all about how he's looking and feeling out there. Let me see here. I'm trying to make sure I have a similar dunk that I'm looking for, also to compare it to from a younger version of Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, I got another one for you. So, here was dunk 2 in the fourth quarter that he ended up missing last night. Still dunk 1. All right. Lost it with the left hand. Here's dunk 2. DJ misses a 3. Kawhi comes flying in. Look at this. Wow. That would have been with all the DJ dunks we've had this season, that still might have been the best dunk of the season by a Clipper if Kawhi got that to go. And it looked like he couldn't get, even with those big mitts, he didn't have a firm grip on it. And you see that topside view again. And hit the back of the rim too hard. Didn't get it cleanly, didn't get it flush. That one reminded me a little bit of this dunk he had back with the San Antonio Spurs like 9 years ago against the Cavaliers for a putback. Kawhi comes flying in. Danny Green misses. Boom. I could actually make the argument the way he got up last night for that one was somewhat more impressive. But this is what you're looking for from Kawhi as I wave to Petros Papadakis. Kawhi, I think, converted 3 dunks last night, but the 2 he missed were ridiculous. He's feeling great.
Put it up, Ben.
He's really testing his body as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. I guess wants to see what he's capable of. And something I've been reminding people of for years is Kawhi is a left-legged leaper. He jumps off his left leg. But his injuries have come to his right leg. That's been the issue. He hasn't lost his explosiveness and being able to get up because this is right ACL, his right meniscus, the swelling on that side. No, he can still throw it down with the left leg. He's good there. Jumping off his left leg. He's fine. So why don't we now hear post-game from Coach Lue after the Clippers 134-117 victory over the Houston Rockets, where he had a little bit of criticism for his squad, even though they've won 16 of 19. They have won 6 games in a row. Here was Coach Lue.
Yeah, I usually don't like doing that. I think
he starts by answering a question about putting Ivica Zubac back into the ball game to get that triple-double.
Ty, was it a player, the wall, just the fans in general that swayed you to keep Zoo in for the final minute there?
Yeah, I usually don't like doing that. I think, bad karma. But like I said, he had a chance earlier. I think this year I took him out. So I was giving him one more play. And Bogey, with a big shot to give it to him. So that was huge for Zoo. And like I said, huge for our team, just the morale of our team and where we're at right now. Like I said, I like where we're at.
I just want to check in on Nico. Obviously, he left the game early. Is there any concern that he's –
I'm not sure yet. I know it's just a little growing, but I'm not sure how severe it is right now.
Coach, with 2 games left, you mentioned about taking care of business, controlling what you guys can control, not really paying attention too much to the standings. What does it mean to have guys like James and Kawhi to kind of lean on, knowing what's at stake here in the next few days or so?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, 2 veteran guys that's been there, seen a lot of different things, throughout the course of their career. And so
it's been very rare that Coach Lue has had his top 2 guys this late into the season with a chance to have them in the playoffs finally.
Having those 2 guys lead us is good for us. Like I said, the main thing is those 2 guys just staying healthy, and it's going to be an exciting run. So we'll see what happens.
Coach, you're someone who likes perfection. You guys playing so well right now. Are there any things that you're seeing from the team where you're like, oh, we really got to fix this as we get there to the playoffs?
Yeah, I talked to the team at the end of the game. I usually don't do a lot of talking after the game, but just tell them we got to get back to our defensive identity. We can kind of let our guards down because of, guys are being out or whatever it may be. But, we got to have the same approach every single night. And sometimes when you're scoring easy, you kind of let your guard down defensively. But, when we're trying to get to and when we're trying to go, we can't do that. So our identity every single night has got to be defense. We got to have that mentality every time we step on the floor. And I think we've been lacking lately, so we just got to be better with that.
I like this from Coach Lue. They may have won the last 2 games. Oh, Matt Warren is listening. But there are things to work on anyways. All wins aren't created equal. They're still watching tape. They're still reviewing everything. And the opposition is also watching and seeing where the Clippers have shown flaws, some cracks in the armor. And defensively, they haven't been quite as good the last couple of games. Spurs put up 117 points. Rockets put up 117 points. Before that, Clippers only gave up 104, 91, 98, 87. They have been much better. So Coach Lue is asking them to be better with 2 games left. Like, it's not everything's fine because they won by 17. No, there's things to work on.
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but is it hard to keep guys engaged when you're playing teams that are missing players at this point in the season? They can see the finish line just ahead of them.
I don't know. I'm engaged, so I hope they, trying to win every game. But like you said, it can be hard, but we still got to have the right mindset. We got to be professional about it. We know they have 6 or 7 of their players on the floor. And I told you before the game, they have a good young nucleus, good young guys that play hard, play with pace, can shoot the basketball, can attack. And like I said, they play well tonight. And like I said, Ime has them playing well and playing hard as well.
This is funny to me. This guy, Cobra Noob, is in here. Must be a noob to Clippers talk. Said, I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but that putback dunk Kawhi tried last night had me impressed. Looked healthy. I just played it. Rewind.
Ty, how have you seen Zoo grow as a passer?
Just working with Larry Naga, working with Larry Drew, just taking his time. He's always been good in the pocket versus blitzes and stuff like that, but now with the post doubles, just taking his time, understanding where the double teams are coming from, and making the right pass and right play. And so he definitely got better with that. But I credit to Jay Larry Naga and Larry Drew.
Ivica Zubac has gotten better in the passing department. I would argue that part of it is just, he's being featured more, so he had an opportunity to get more reps and become a better passer. Like, they actually had to get it to him much more often for him to be put in those positions where he could be more comfortable there.
How you doing, Derek? Coach, Derrick Jones Jr., he's been very efficient, in certain defense and things like that, but coming in, he wasn't really known as being a three-point shooter. Looking at him shoot that 3 ball from the corner and being a high percentage shooter this year, how does that make you feel when you see that 3 ball goes in?
Makes me feel good. But he works on it every single day. Him and Jay Larry Naga again, putting the work in every single day. They got those little small hoops that I don't know all that stuff they got, but he's there every day, committed to it every single day, to be a good shooter. He understands that, teams are going to, help off him a little bit, and just got to be ready to step up and knock it down with confidence. He's been doing that for us. Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Coach Lue was happy to get out early there.
He's there every day, committed to it every single day.
Relatively short postgame for him.
He understands that, teams are going to, help off him a little bit, and just got to be ready to step up and knock it down with confidence. He's been doing that for us.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
They let him out early. Now we'll hear from James Harden post game, who led them with 35 points on just 18 shots. Underrated, incredible performance by James Harden, one of his best of the season. 5 of 11 from the outside, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. The Clippers were 19 of 19 there, and 10 assists. Just very efficient, as we've seen over the last 19 games. Him and Kawhi have been very efficient, especially Kawhi, but James Harden's been much better in that area too as of late. Here he was post-game.
Ask about the shoes again.
Oh, yeah. He gave shoes away, not just to players, but media members there. I saw Farbod Essentiari, I think, had some on. Justin Russo had some of his shoes on.
Wanted to do that for everybody. And then also just what can you say about this new colorway?
I want everybody to feel that same aura, that same swagger I've been having all year.
Just my own shoe and just the design process, the marketing process, everything behind the shoe. So it's been going on this last home game, and it was an opportunity to, make sure everybody felt like I feel, and walk around with some swag. And so that was the reason behind it, and I feel good.
If you're wondering if I'm jealous, yeah, those kicks look great.
You're playing tonight one of the top teams, and then you find out early that they're going to be sitting a lot of their big players. What are your?
Sorry, they're going to be what?
And so that was the reason behind it, and I feel good. You're playing tonight one of the top teams, and then you find out early that they're going to be sitting a lot of their big players. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that sounds like, I know he says sitting, but
that they're going to be sitting a lot of their big players. What are your?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna chill now. Everything's good.
Big play of the top teams, and then you find out early that they're going to be sitting a lot of their big players. What are your thoughts when you find that out? Nothing. Go win the game.
Twice said that you guys have to get back to your defensive mindset. Yeah. Where did that slip?
It's just two back-to-backs in a row. Like it's just it's kind of foggy, but whatever. The most important thing is to win the game. And, Friday's going to be another tough game for us, and just trying to find ways to win. But we know our backbone and our identity is the defensive end. So we just watch the film and get better and be ready to go Friday.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the last two games defensively. Now they lose on Friday, and Sacramento does have, some guys who can fill it up with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. They get hot. Domantas Sabonis, they can hurt you. And they were playing last night against Denver, so the Clippers do have to lock in and be better there. I'm glad it's been a point of emphasis, and Coach Lue talked about it. It needs to be top of mind going into that ball game because that's what they do. They're a defensive squad. But James Harden, meanwhile, last 19 games where the Clippers are 16-3. Over that stretch, he's shooting 46% from the field and 39% from three. At about 9 assists to 4 turnovers, that's still not great, but come on. We're nitpicking at that point. He's been awesome. 46, 39, 87 shooting splits. His last 19 games where the Clippers are 16-3 over that time.
Everybody's been asking about, or you guys often about, your impact on your teammates. How does this team this year kind of impacted you? How do you feel like it's changed you?
Man, it's special. Just really just giving yourself up for something bigger. And coming into the season, there was no expectation for this team for real. Like,
listen to this. Coming into the season, there was no expectation for this team.
Look at the standings. They predicted us to be, 13th seed or 12th seed in the West or whatnot. But, just being around these guys from day one, started in Arizona when I put the mini camp together. But then going into the training camp and seeing that we got some special, like we got some dogs in this locker room. So just building that mindset and us coming together really as a team, going to Hawaii, playing those preseason games, things like that really brought us together. And so, here we are with an opportunity to be, top, 4 or 5 seed in the West and, have a pretty good run in this postseason. So they've impacted me in a positive way. They made me lock in both ends of the ball, and really just have that competitive mindset. To want to go out there and do whatever it takes to win, and that's the beauty of a team.
James, this is kind of special season. James Harden put it beautifully there, talking about this group, the underdog mentality, being countered out, the odds being against them rallying around that. They heard it. I mean, back on Media Day, I put together, I wonder if I have this somewhere. I'm going to see for a second. We'll get back to this James Harden audio, but I remember putting together some post-game quotes from the Clippers on Media Day as they were all kind of united and feeling like they were being overlooked. And they were frustrated with it. And you knew that they were going to try to prove the doubters and the detractors wrong. I'm going to see if I have this clip for you guys really quick here. This is, I think I got it. I know I put it up on Twitter. Do I have it anywhere else? I might not have it for you guys. Ah. Well, that's disappointing. Mistakes were made. Wait, I got it. This was on Media Day. Listen. This is fun to revisit this now, to look back at how far they've come.
I love everything that we're doing. You know, a lot of outsiders or people that are analysts or whatever you want to call them don't really have high expectations for us, but we have high expectations for ourselves. And me individually, I've never missed the playoffs my entire career. So I feel like that our entire team, we got a lot to prove. You know, for me, like as a leader, there's been a lot of situations where teams where we quote unquote wasn't good enough, but we made people believe in us. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is another opportunity for that. We got a lot of guys in this locker room that's on that mindset. So
yeah, and outlets like the
write
us off because we don't have PG anymore and losing Russ. So it's like we're 12th or something, which is crazy to me. But I think that's what happens. You know, you lose a guy like PG and then everything goes up in flames. But I've been on a team where we lose a superstar guy.
I love everything.
Right, that's it? Oh, because it was
I love everything that we're doing.
YouTube short. Do I have the rest of that? I think I do on my TikTok. Clippers Talk, TikTok. If you guys aren't over there, you should be. I mean, give me a follow. I know I'm not Carlo Jimenez. I know I'm not Lauren Rosen. It's been great to have her on. As you guys have pointed out, the Clippers aren't losing, which she's joining me pregame. And by the way, she did have Ivica Zubac for her player to watch before he would end up going for his first ever triple-double. So I think Lauren Rosen won that round. She cooked there. But if I can, I think I can find this. Ooh, I got a lot of receipts here. I got some interesting stuff that we could revisit now. Going all the way back to Media Day. Because there were a lot of doubters. This isn't just, oh, it's easy to say this now. No, this was the reality of the situation heading into this season. Underdog Clippers was real. Listen, okay.
Our entire team, we got a lot to prove.
Get back to Norm.
And losing Russ. So it's like we're 12th or something, which is crazy to me. But I think that's what happens. You know, you lose a guy like PG and then everything goes up in flames. But I've been on a team where we lose a superstar guy after coming off a championship and we're still top 5 in the East.
Be quiet.
When
all the,
here was man.
Finish wherever in the West, might not make playing, whatever is all, BS because we're all competitors and we're ready to go. And, we see this stuff, so we're hungry. And that's a scary team when everyone's hungry like that. We got a lot of people who want to prove people wrong.
Still got love for T-Man.
The first time in a couple of years, I don't think people expect anything from the Clippers. So that can be good as well for us to be in that position to surprise and shock people. So, yeah, I think it's exciting to be in that place for sure.
They all said it. They had a united front on Media Day. They knew then what the expectations were, what people were saying about them. Back to James Harden last night.
They've been impacting me in a positive way. They made me lock in both ends of the ball, and really just have that competitive mindset. To want to go out there and do whatever it takes to win, and that's the beauty of a team.
James, this is kind of a perfect end to the homestand and Zoo's kind of year here with the first career triple-double for him. This is kind of a perfect end to the homestand and how well Zoo's played with the first triple-double that he's had.
I mean, Zoo's, like I've said it numerous times, Zoo's been playing unbelievable, and for him to get his first career triple-double was unbelievable. What shoes he had on, right?
Which ones?
Hellcats.
Telling us.
James Harden walking away there. The Hellcats. If you guys want to call in, 877-520-1150. Let's hear from Ivica Zubac, though, post-game after he got his first triple-double last night.
Which ones?
Hellcats.
Telling us where the guys got to go when there's a double, what we got to look for, stuff like that. So just be patient and remember what LD said. Watching a lot of film with Jay too, pre-game, watching a bunch of clips on the doubles.
Hey, Zoe, congratulations, my brother.
Appreciate it, brother. Hellcats.
That's James Harden.
Well, yeah, watching a lot of film.
How much did you really want the triple double?
I wanted to, Ty Lue wanted to sub me out, then everyone was like, no, and he asked me on that next day. But, no, I wanted it. I told Bogey, I told Bogey, I'll get it to you. You got to shoot it no matter what. And he did. Bogey is a big-time shot maker. So told him he's never paying at dinner again. But I'm glad he made that shot.
Bogey hitting that three, getting him his 10th assist. Let's go, Jonathan Ing in the chat, joining us from San Diego here on Clippers Talk. Jonathan, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good right now. So, yeah, thanks for having me back on. I have 5 minutes before a meeting, so I'm going to get this in quick.
Do it.
Yeah, so I was just happy with the team. So I was talking about in the chat, like, how I think most of us felt that the team was, I think 6th seed was probably the ceiling. And, like, to see that we're in the running for the 4 seed, like, it's like this team totally outperformed our expectations.
I agree with you. I had him at the top being a 6. I had him somewhere between 6 and 10. 6 on the high end, 10 on the low end.
Yeah. So like, and it was above what all the national media thought. Like we'd be like the 12th, 13th, like completely out of the running for the play-in and the playoffs. And like just to see that this team has outperformed even our wildest expectations, like it's been fun to root for. And like this, all the ups and downs and stuff, like it's been a good run, or at least for this year. And just I think there's so many players that like between Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr. and Nico being back, like we're just like it's just a bunch of players that are just fun to root for. Even like Zoo wasn't drafted by us, but he's basically one of our players. Like like the fan attachment to him. It's just awesome to see. And like not a lot of like given how crazy this NBA season has been, it's just like I think we're one of the few teams that are just like if you're not a Clipper fan, like it's been fun to root for this team.
Yeah, and even some of the haters like Bastian Schweinsteiger, who's now in the chat, or Free TV, like these guys were completely proven wrong, like every step of the way. They just kept stepping on the rake.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah, it's just like for everybody who's still blaming Ty, like
yeah, how about that? Like
Brian
2
Shaw
weeks
had-
ago, we were talking about we had to actually address like should Brian Shaw be the head coach because so many people kept saying after 5 games like, oh, B. Shaw, I like him more than Coach Lue. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just like in Ty's entire tenure, the only year that he had a really bad year, and we found out is with his that death in his family was in 21, 22,
22, 23.
Or 22, 23. But outside of that, it's just like Ty's been great. Like there's no such thing as a perfect coach, but Ty is one of the best coaches in the league, as rated by his peers for a reason. And like we could be worse. We could be the Memphis Grizzlies. We could be the Suns. It's like, come on, guys. Like keep things in perspective. Like we're like we were under the radar for the majority of the year. Now we're getting finally talked about by national media. Like just like people are surprised. It's just like we who follow the Clippers day in and day out. It's just like we're not surprised. Like it's like they're playing to and beyond our expectations. So it's just like people are in the know or in the know.
Yeah, there are casuals, and there are those who knew that if Kawhi got back, to playing at an all-NBA level, an MVP level, which is basically what he's been at recently, that this team can do anything.
All right. Yeah, one more thing. I got to call out Yanni Tears for that debate I had last night with him. That was absurd.
What was the debate?
So he was saying that he would rather be in the 7th seed to go into a play-in versus facing OKC in the second round because we're slotted to be the 4 or 5 seed. So assuming we get past the first round, we'd have a second round matchup with OKC. And he'd rather be in the play-in. And I was telling him, like, I would rather not be in the play-in because in a play-in, it's a one and done scenario. Too much randomness can happen. And if you lose one or both games, like, you have no more rooms for adjustments. Versus OKC, like, at least you have the opportunity to make adjustments because you have to win 4 games. Versus, like, there's just too much other things that can happen. I was just like, and he's playing by the odds of, like, who would actually win the game, like, in a one and done scenario versus like the 7-game series. And it's like, that is such an absurd take because too much random stuff can happen in a 1-game scenario.
That's what Yanni Tears likes to do. Jonathan, I appreciate you bringing sanity to the conversation as always. A couple people are calling in now. Maybe one of them is Yanni Tears. Jonathan, do you want to stay on hold and I'll check? Okay. Jonathan dropped. All right, we got somebody from the 863 here on Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Adam? This is Alec.
Alec?
Yeah, no, Alex. I'll be under your comments sometimes.
Alex, what's up?
You about the Ben Simmons thing. What's up, brother? What's up? This is crazy, right? Because I'll be watching you all the time. It's weird talking to you, right? It's crazy.
Oh, I appreciate you calling. Alex, where are you calling from?
From Florida.
Are you a big fan of Ben Simmons?
Nah. You always playing those things. They be killing me. Yo, the other day, I was just riding around with my girl, and I was listening to your podcast. She was like, why do you keep on playing those? I was like, those are his little sound bites. Put it up, Ben!
We have to. I mean, that's Clayvon from Michigan.
No, but I'm a real big, like, James Harden fan, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like, watching you guys, like, right when I started typing in like Clippers in there, I started seeing Clippers talk, then started seeing your show. I like watching y'all show, like, every single time a game gets done, I instantly go to Clippers Talk and I go watch your review on the game.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Alex. I try to do the best I can, and I try to make it an environment where people would enjoy to call in, even on off days like you're doing right now. So thanks for doing this. You got any takes? You said you're a big James Harden fan. I mean, how are you feeling about the way he's playing? I just gave the numbers. He's been awesome the last 19 games.
He's been awesome, but even as a fan, I do have to criticize him sometimes, and it is on, like, the defensive end. Like, I know he could. Something tells me, like, I don't know if he needs to hear it from Stan Van Gundy. I know he can do better sometimes, like with moving his feet. I know the guards are quick, but it kind of collapses our defense a lot. Like, because Zoo has to overhelp, and I'm watching the game a lot. Even though I'm a big fan of him, I watch how Zoo has to come over, but if he comes over too much, there's a lob. If you're facing a team with, like, a lob threat with, like, athleticism like the Rockets, that becomes a problem because they get easy points. Whereas where you make them shoot, it's a harder game for them, even though they were going crazy last night. I don't know what that was.
I understand, like, he has flaws. He does. And defense is definitely one of them. And there are times where he's a much better defender. He has quick hands. He's really good in the post consistently. It's his perimeter defense you worry about. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, his perimeter defense, they just, I know he could do better. It's like they get by to him, like, a little too quick. I understand if it's, like, hard for you to, but, like, they get by way too easily.
Yeah.
And I know if he's better on that side, like, even if he's, like, not even, like, crazy good, better, man, it's going to be hard to beat us, man. It's going to be really hard to beat us. And I'm not going to lie, you were the first one out here, Big Zoo. Because I used to get mad at Big Zoo last year because, like, I just felt like he would never catch the ball right, but it was their first year. I didn't give him a fair shake at all, but you've been screaming his name, and I'm seeing it, man. I like him a lot.
Alex, that's my guy, Ivica Zubac. I've been talking about him. I have tweets from 2021 saying he is the long-lost Gasol brother. Ain't nobody laughing at those tweets anymore.
You're right. No, you were right. You were right. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was getting so because I knew I was just like, man, if you give James Harden a center that can do, and he's way more skilled than Clint, because I've been following James, but like Clint was like a lob threat. A lot of the guys when they're like lob threats, they're not like the European players where they can catch and dribble a little bit and like the
They're
other
just
well,
rim
not to be like
runners. They're
weird.
just
or
rim
anything. Yeah, they're
runners.
just rim runners basically. And then sometimes people can stop that. So that with Zoo being able to, like, if he catches, if he's not catching the lob, he can do a turnaround jump hook, and that's an issue right there. That's why James Harden and Joel were so good.
Yeah, you're right. That pick and roll was death when they were healthy. Alex, how far do you think they can take this? How far do you think this team can go?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I really think we have a big chance. I watched like Clippers talk. I can't remember his name. He's been saying it's our year, and I really was believing it because I had an argument with my friends. Yes, I've been having bets with them. I'm like, bro, they kept saying like the Clippers weren't gonna get to 45 wins. I was like, are you serious right now, man? So like, I really think the biggest threat to us that I'm not scared of Denver. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not afraid of Denver at all. But I just don't like how we play against the Lakers with the rebounding or the Houston. I know people think like I just don't like playing against Houston.
Yeah.
Like, their athleticism be a lot sometimes. It's a lot.
No, yeah, they have a lot of raw talent that's scary, that if they put it together on the offensive end, they can take you out. I mean, there's a reason they're the number 2 seed. I thought at best they were going to be like 6th this season. They're way ahead of schedule, the Houston Rockets. And Ime Udoka is a really good head coach in a 7-game series. I agree with you. They are scary.
Can I ask you this question? I remember you talking about it. You know what the Clippers and the Houston pick with the OKC has it?
Yeah.
Does that have to do with something with the 76ers too, or are they going to end up with the Clippers pick? Because I know they have something from the 76ers too.
The Houston Rockets?
Yeah, no, the
OKC or the Clippers?
OKC, yes. I think OKC has the Philadelphia pick too.
They have that Philadelphia pick, I think, is top 6 protected, I want to say. So it's still dependent on that. I mean, when in doubt, just assume OKC has the picks because they do. But
so they're gonna take our pick.
Yeah, they're gonna take whatever pick is better, otherwise known as higher in the draft. So whatever pick is, if it's the Clippers ending up with the 25th pick and the Houston Rockets ending up with the 26th pick, they're taking the Clippers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Clippers would end up swapping with them and getting, pick 30.
Whatever pick they have. Yeah.
Yeah. But Alex, where were you calling from again?
I'm from Florida.
Alex in Florida. Don't be a stranger here on Clippers Talk. You know ball.
No, I'm giving a call. I enjoy your thing, and I hope you have a great day, man.
Thanks, Alex. Same to you, man. We got somebody from the 909 here on Clippers Talk. 909. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Adam. This is BK calling from Sacramento, actually.
DK or BK?
BK.
BK?
As in Burger King.
I got you. The king is here. All right.
Yes, sir.
BK, are you going to give us some intel on the Sacramento Kings for tomorrow night?
I wish I could. I recently moved up here from SoCal for work maybe a month ago, so I haven't been watching too much Kings. Still watching my Clippers, so unfortunately not yet.
All right, that's okay. What do you like from what you're seeing from your Clippers right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of positives there. First things first, Kawhi is healthy, and the level that he's playing at is tremendous. If we could play like that into the playoffs, we could be very scary. I love our defense. I think we're still ranked second for the rest of the season. I would say Jeff Van Gundy has been a net positive with the team. I think the X factor though will be Chris Dunn.
Ooh.
A lot of teams are gonna leave him open in the fourth quarter. If he can hit his occasional threes, that would help tremendously.
No, I think that's a great point.
Yeah,
that's a great point, BK. I do think it's not it's really his three ball is the X factor, not Chris Dunn overall as a player because he offers so much defensively. But if threes are falling, meaning they can keep him out there because teams are respecting him, that makes all the difference in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now, to be honest, I do prefer Derek Jones Jr. in the fourth quarter. But I do enjoy watching Chris Dunn's defense. Anything from the offensive side is a positive. I do have a question though. Mm-hmm. With all that positive, I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. The last, I would say, and this is my opinion, the last really good team that the Lakers won against was maybe the Magic, or maybe even way before that.
Wait, the Lakers or the Clippers?
Say the Clippers.
Okay.
When they beat when they beat the Magic, I would say, or even way before that when they beat Detroit. And that was.
Well, what about the Cavaliers?
March?
The Cavaliers game at Intuit Dome. Both teams healthy.
Exactly. So they actually won and lost, I believe, that back-to-back without Kawhi, right? They were really close in that game.
Which game? Oh, you're talking about the Cleveland game on the road. Yeah,
exactly.
They almost won that game. They lost by 5, but they beat them at home, I think less than a week earlier around there.
Exactly. And it was mid-March, I believe. So my question to you is that, this win streak is a positive, and I love to see that they're heading towards that way in the playoffs. Do you have any reservations that they haven't really faced a full healthy opponent? I would hope that they would face a full healthy Golden State Warriors, just so we know where we are within the playoffs. What do you think about that?
Well, the Cleveland game that I referenced at Intuit Dome on March 18th, the Cavs were fully healthy in that game. The Clippers were fully healthy, and they won 132-119. So that was a bit of a measuring stick type of contest. I do agree with you. The Knicks weren't healthy when they beat them. I don't think Memphis was fully healthy when they beat them. The Orlando win was a very good victory. They were as healthy as they've been in a bit, but they still were without, Jalen Suggs, a few other guys. They're still banged up. I don't think it's nothing. Your point that you're making here, that the Clippers over the last 19 games where they are 16-3 haven't faced the stiffest of competition. And I'll say this, over that time, the Clippers are shooting the best in the league from the outside. Last 19 games, 43.1% from three. And also, over that time, teams are shooting, I think, their worst against the Clippers from three. Both those things happening at once is a little bit on the fluky side. So they're actually teams over the last, after what happened last night with Houston going 50% from three, it put the Clippers second in opponent 3-point percentage over the last 19 games. But still, teams are just shooting 33.2% against them, while they've been shooting 43% against the opposition the last 19 games. That's a little bit fluky. I think there is something to criticize there and say that's unsustainable for the Clippers to be shooting 10% better from three than their opponents over 19 games. So I'm with you in some ways here, BK. Like, I don't want to downplay how good the Clippers have been on offense and on defense, but it does matter who you play. So I don't think that's a crazy point. I don't think you're off base.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to get your input. I know I've been a big fan of yours. You've always been honest, either on air or in. I'm a big fan of the Clips and Dips pod as well too. And it's just great talking to you. I'm always in the chat, and I really enjoy hearing your take on not only just the Clippers but NBA, and more importantly, you're honest. So thank you for that.
BK, I'm from Sacramento, right? So you're in my old stomping grounds now. So be good up there. And
nice.
Have you tried Jim Boy's tacos yet?
I have not. So to be specific, I am a little bit 20 minutes south from Sacramento. I'm in Elk Grove. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area. Yeah. I'm gonna definitely spend time exploring Sacramento and the surrounding areas. for
Okay.
sure.
When you go to Jim Boy's, just get their regular original beef tacos with extra cheese. Get their taco sauce. Comes in little ketchup packets. Get about 5 of them and go to town. It's
You
one of my
got it.
favorite things to do when I'm back home.
You got it. I definitely do miss the food from Los Angeles compared to up here, though. So
This is a different type of
hopefully that will
taco.
be good.
This is a different type of taco.
Okay.
I think they call it like the Great American Taco. I think they started up in Lake Tahoe, where they originated from. So it's different. Obviously, we have the best Mexican food here in Southern California you can have in the States. This is a different type of taco. I mean, they sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese on the outside of it, but it is one of the better fast food options you can have. So highly recommend it, BK. Be good at the 916,
Great.
all right?
Thank you so much. Great talking to you, Adam.
Good talking with you as well. 877-520-1150, 877-520-1150. If you guys want to get on, still waiting to see. We might have a special guest on in this episode, but I mentioned the last 19 games because that's where the Clippers really had this turning point. It was starting with the game against Detroit after James Harden went for 50, or with him going for 50 in that game. The night before, remember, they blew a 23-point lead to Phoenix. And we actually heard from some of the players post-game last night as Justin Russo was asking multiple guys about if that was the differentiator or that turning point for the Clippers. And, you know, over their last 19 games, they've had the best offense in the league, 122.6, while being third defensively. So the best net rating in the league over the past 19 games belongs to your Los Angeles Clippers. Let's hear more from Ivica Zubac's post-game last night after he went for his first triple-double.
I told him he's never paying at dinner again, but I'm glad he made that shot.
Talking about Bogey hitting the shot to give him 10 assists.
Does it show how much you've come offensively to offensive categories?
I guess. It's nice, having a triple-double, 10 assists. It's nice. Feel more and more comfortable passing the ball, getting double, being patient, and finding the open.
So, what do you think's been the turning point for you guys over the stretch?
Mm-hmm.
Because coming out of that tough stretch out of the All-Star break, you have that rough game in Phoenix, and then
Sticking with it. Getting healthy, getting guys healthy. We coming out of All-Star break, we had some guys hurt, struggled a little bit, but we stick with it. We knew guys were going to get back. We just knew we got to stick together, that we were good enough to win games. That's it.
I know a lot of people are lamenting the fact they lost 6 of 7 out of the All-Star break, and they lost some close games. They blew some games in the fourth quarter. The Milwaukee game, I think they were up 13 right after the All-Star break. They lost 116 to 110. Giannis doesn't play the last 6 minutes of the fourth. They were in 2 close games against the Lakers over the weekend, both those games at Crypto. They lost 106-102, 108-102. They could have won either of those games. And then the Phoenix game where they're up by 23 and have one of the best first halves of the season, but couldn't hold on in the second half. I know a lot of you are looking at that now and saying, if we had just won one of these games or 2 of these games, let's say they go 3-4 instead of 1-6 out of the All-Star break, we're talking about being the 3 seed right now. I get that. But those losses are teaching moments. You learn from those, and hopefully they picked up a couple of wins because of some of those failures there. So it all kind of works together in an 82-game season.
So tightly bunched. Are you in a playoff positioning? Are you the kind of guy that just whatever happens, or are you analyzing the numbers a lot?
I'm the kind of guy just win every game that's in front of us and see what happens.
I think that was Chris Dunn in the background. Listen to this.
Win every game that's in front of us and see what happens.
Zoo.
There's not too much. There's nothing to be smart about. Just got to win games, and whatever happens, happens.
Does this feel kind of like a perfect wrap to the regular season in the homestand with how well you played with your first career triple-double? You kind of feel like just a little bow on top of that?
Felt great. Felt great. I don't know if it's perfect, but felt great. We've been playing great at home the whole year. The fans have been amazing. We got real home crowd advantage, home court advantage, and feels great to last regular season game to finish on this triple double.
So I asked you a couple weeks ago. This is the start of your yoga chart, and you laughed.
I laugh again.
Laugh now.
Started my.
Did you think that was something achievable for you, even going back?
How?
Did you think this kind of night was achievable for you to have a night with a triple double?
Yeah. I didn't know if it was ever gonna happen, but I always knew I was a solid passer, and with teams doubling me now, and just playing out of delay action a lot, being involved in a lot of DHOs, and just getting a right angle and having a guy like Norm, James, Kawhi, Bogey coming off of those DHOs, shooting the ball, going downhill, making shots. It's pretty easy.
Pretty easy when you got those guys making shots for you.
Derek, about the lob. He said, I've been telling Zoo, if I'm going to throw it up.
Yeah. No, he's been amazing cutting from that corner on the doubles, and most of the year I've been kind of hitting him, throwing that bounce pass. But last few games, kind of guys didn't really commit a lot, so my only option was to throw the lob, and I know DJ is going to get it no matter where I throw it. And the one he caught tonight, he was in the air for like 5 seconds. I threw it so late, and he still got it. So I think there's going to be more of those coming.
Yeah.
You tell James you better watch out on the triple double list now.
No, but no. That's it.
Thanks, you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We got Kawhi coming up next. I saw this post from Justin Russo saying the first day that Kawhi Leonard had his minutes restriction removed was February 28th. Since then, that was the first game against the Lakers that weekend. Since then, the Lakers rank third in offense, third in defense, and second in net rating. They're first in half-court offense and fourth in half-court defense. And that's still with Kawhi missing some games. 3 games, I think, since he got off the minutes restriction. What did I tell you guys all season long? All you got to do is get a healthy Kawhi, pair it with how good they've been playing on the defensive end. Now you got a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. Well, they've been better than that. They've been top 5 in both areas with Kawhi back. I do. Everybody's talking about, the Clippers didn't get this guy at the trade deadline. We didn't improve our team. Lawrence Frank is saying, hold up, guys. The big acquisition at the trade deadline was Kawhi. Now, Bogey, who a lot of you guys doubted, has also been huge for them. They have no chance of being the best three-point shooting team over their last 19 games if they didn't have Bogey shooting over 50% from 3 over his last 23 games. He's been unbelievable. And last night, Bogey goes 0 of 4 in the first half, 5 of 7 in the second half for his 16 points. Kawhi had 22, though, on 9 of 22 shooting. I'm good with that. He missed a couple of explosive dunks that he just couldn't put down, but they were encouraging from a movement standpoint with how quick he looked out there. Here was Kawhi postgame.
I wanted to ask you about Tari Eason. What have you thought about his game, his development since he's been in the league?
Tonight he had an opportunity to showcase his talent. He did a great job doing it. Just developing his shot, his handle, just getting more comfortable.
Talking about Tari Eason, who a lot of people compare to Kawhi, young Kawhi.
Both ends of the floor.
Ty talked about getting back to the defensive mindset because your identity. How important is that for you guys?
That's very important. That's how you win games on the defensive end. Getting easy baskets, and transition, rebounding the ball after that miss once, and it's a big part of what we do.
Where have you seen that has slipped?
I think it's just been the last 2 games, really. I think
That's the good part. The players like, yeah, it's the last 2 games. And Coach was right. They've given up 117 in both of the last 2 games against, on the back-to-back, San Antonio and Houston. They don't have Kawhi for one of those games. It's not this huge slippage on the defensive end where things have totally unraveled or anything like that. It's 2 games. And as Coach Lou said, sometimes when you're making shots the way they are, you naturally let up on the defensive end.
we did a pretty good job with Dallas, but we don't have time to, have slippage with, missing coverages and things like that. If guys get hot and we're doing what we're doing, then that's a different story.
I like that. If we're playing well, if our point of attack defense is good, if our perimeter defense is good, and guys are just hot, that's a different story, says Kawhi. But they're not exactly just excusing the hot shooting on just being that. They're saying their defense hasn't been as good the last 2 games. And Kawhi said it can't afford that. There's 2 games left. But the good news is, yes, it's just been a couple of games like this. Got to be better against Sacramento tomorrow.
Ty said it was a morale boost to see Zoo get that triple-double and everybody kind of get excited for him. I know we've asked you about him a lot this year, but what do you think that moment was like, seeing him get that triple-double?
It was great. Ty did it's a great coach for just, keeping him in and able him to get that opportunity. It just shows, how his growth has been all year, and his patience in the post and making passes and getting comfortable.
Yeah, Kobe Brown looked good last night. I think that was probably his best stretch as a Clipper. Those 10 straight minutes I think he played from the end of the third to the start of the fourth. 5 points, got a layup going right, knocked down a 3-pointer, was 2 of 2, 3 boards, connector passes. That's more of what we envisioned with Kobe Brown. Hopefully we see him stay in that form if he plays over the next 2 games.
Cool. I remember after the Phoenix game, kind of how frustrated Ty was and how the locker room felt after, there, and the run that you guys have been on since. Was that a turning point for you guys, or is there something deeper or simpler?
I think, yeah. We were all trying to just, get better. It takes time.
Kawhi thought it was a turning point, that loss to Phoenix.
We're able to find a rhythm, guys getting back in the lineup, and like I said, playing together, getting the team chemistry, and making what's best of it.
I was literally hearing out of the All-Star break that the Clippers are better without Kawhi Leonard all the time. I was seeing it on Twitter. I was seeing it in the chat here. It was wild. And I kept bringing up the on-off splits where their offensive rating is better when he's on the court, when their defensive rating is better when he's on the court. And just kept shaking my head saying, no, they're not. Even with Kawhi not being at the peak of his powers right now, they're not better. They're not. And it took him a little bit longer to get there, to get back to prime Kawhi Leonard. He's there now. You can see the difference. And somebody came into or sent me a tweet yesterday saying I was a dumbass for thinking Kawhi or they were better without Kawhi. Just randomly, somebody said that to me. And it was like, well, you're forgiven. Don't worry about it. That blasphemy wasn't tolerated on here, and there was a reason for that, and now you see why. People that were trying to preach that blasphemy that they're better without Kawhi or Kawhi's cooked, and I have multiple receipts with people on that. I was like, guys, the reports of Kawhi's demise have always been greatly exaggerated. I said, maybe this is that time when he comes back and he's not the same, but I'm going to let it play out more. I want to see. And I did a couple of shows. I did the Green Ranger parallel, saying like that guy had the candle burning out. He was always that Power Ranger, if you're into that sort of thing. He was always having to work through it. You didn't know if he'd be there or not. I think it's a applicable analogy to Kawhi, but he's still got plenty left. Just got to keep him healthy.
Kawhi, is there anything you're kind of most proud of in this stretch where you guys have won 16 of the last 19 games?
I'm just happy that we were able to get the wins, really. Especially in this crunch time situation. And, we have 2 more games left in the season, so we got to keep getting better.
There was Kawhi post game. Keep getting better. There's 2 games left. Tomorrow in Sacramento, Sunday against Golden State. The good news is, with Harrison Barnes knocking down that 3-pointer last night on the left wing against his former team, and the Spurs beating Golden State, if the Clippers can win tomorrow against Sacramento, even if they lose against Golden State on Sunday, Golden State cannot jump in front of them in the standings. Justin Russo posted this: rooting interest for the Clippers tonight. A Memphis loss. Excuse me. I need to correct myself there. Get it together. A Minnesota loss at Memphis. We are rooting for a Minnesota loss at Memphis. That would mean a Clippers win Friday would clinch them a top 6 seed. Ooh. And he also said this: if Indiana loses to the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, that would put the Clippers pick they owe to OKC into a 3-way tie from 22 to 24. Okay, that's interesting. I don't fully understand that, but once you get into tiebreakers, I get lost real quick.
I don't know. What do the numbers say? Shit.
Yeah, the numbers have me confused, but we're rooting for the Minnesota Timberwolves to lose in Memphis tonight. Remember, the Clippers don't have the tiebreaker over Minnesota. They do over the Memphis Grizzlies. And also, I don't think you want to see the Minnesota Timberwolves in a first-round matchup in like the 4 or 5 or something. All right, mystery caller here on Clippers Talk. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Julio, and I'm calling from Baldwin Park.
What's up, Julio? You're on with Adam Oslin. What do you want to say?
Hey, Adam Oslin. First of all, just congratulations on going so many days doing this. I have this nickname for you. I call you the Energizer because you're a double A and you just keep going and going and going. It's amazing, man.
I'll take it. I appreciate it, Julio.
Yeah, really proud to be a Clipper fan right now. I think the stadium has a lot to do with it. I think having people like you backing us has a lot to do with it. It's really amazing. And what I want to say is it too early to start talking about Zoo as the next superstar for the Clippers? And my case for it is that he's been going steady. Every year he's been improving. So to some extent, this is not a surprise. But number 2, we actually don't know what his ceiling is. When I think about Norman Powell, for example, when Kawhi's not there, his ceiling goes through the roof. So at some point, Kawhi is not going to be there. Harden's not going to be there. Will Zoo be the piece that they build around, and will he be getting us 25 and 20 every single game or somewhere around there? That's superstar numbers. So I'm thinking Zoo is the next superstar for the Clippers. And I don't know if it's too early to start thinking that, but it's hard not to.
Yeah, especially because over the last 19 games where the Clippers are 16-3, Ivica Zubac is averaging 20 points, 13 boards while shooting 63% from the season for the floor the last 19 games, and he just had a triple-double. Julio, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's worth exploring. How much better can Ivica Zubac get? Does he have a jumper? Can he be somebody you rely on for 4 or 5 assists every game? He's averaging 3.4 assists per game over his last 19. Can he expand his game where if you play through him more, that he's averaging 5 assists per game next season? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all, my friend.
Now tell me something. Is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right, but he has a hook with the left hand. He's ambidextrous. He's talented with the left hand.
Well, so that's what I was thinking, that yesterday in the highlights, there was this move where he went to his left hook, and I thought, that looked completely natural. That did not look difficult at all.
Oh no, he is so skilled that he can shoot over the top of anybody with his left or his right hand. Like it's something he's had for a while. Ivica Zubac has talked about, I've had a bag. I haven't even shown you everything yet. And I've had this bag, coming over to the States, like his early Lakers days. He's been much more skilled offensively than he's ever had a chance to showcase. That's the thing. So
absolutely.
If he's being used as a consistent number 2 option or something like that, and he spoke about this and how he has more confidence because he knows he's going to get the ball consistently now throughout the entire game instead of just here and there. So it gives him more confidence. But let's say he's even higher in the pecking order for this team. Well, what's that going to do for him? Because now he's attempting 17 shots per game or something. So some of those shots might be coming from areas we haven't really seen from Ivica Zubac. I mean, when he hit that 3-pointer back in 2021, I think it was their final game of the regular season, and he played the first couple of minutes, and he had this smooth delivery from 3. And I thought to myself, well, what can he do with his jump shot? He hit a baseline jumper against San Antonio a couple of days ago. But Coach Lue has been asked about it. He said, well, first of all, he needs to get better at his free throws. And he's right. He has gotten slightly worse there. He got off to a really bad start this season at the free throw line, but he slowly but surely has gotten much better. He's at 71% or 70%, I should say, over his last 19 games. But typically, if you're going to be a good jump shooter, Julio, if you're going to be able to expand your game in that way, you also have to be, first of all, a consistent free throw shooter.
It makes sense. You know what I'm looking forward to seeing in the playoffs? You've been talking a lot about if we see the Lakers, they're going to pull Zoo out to the 3 with Luka and with LeBron. And it makes me think, is Ty Lue going to go small? And if Ty Lue goes small, that means Zoo cannot be a superstar, at least not yet. Because if you're a superstar, you would have to leave that person in the game, regardless of how the other team plays.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think here's the thing. If you get in a matchup like that, I think you just have to live with it. And they did those 2 games over the weekend when they last saw the Lakers at Crypto. They kept Ivica Zubac in regardless of them pulling him out to the perimeter on a high screen. Like, I think you just have to roll with him and trust that he's going to do enough damage on the other end, and they're going to miss some of those threes, and his perimeter defense is pretty solid, that you can work through it. And because you're not going to win the series if Ivica Zubac gets played off the court. That's not an option. So you have to keep him out there. If he gets played off the court, that's a win for the Lakers. So I agree with you. You can't be a superstar. You can't be a star if there is a way to get you off the floor. That just can't happen.
So do you think that Ty Lue's finally got in over his small lineups?
I think in certain situations, well, look, he's been going small when Ivica Zubac is off the floor. Zubac has been averaging huge minutes. It's just he'd rather go small than play Eubanks, who would technically be their backup center. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Drew Eubanks is limited. He's limited.
Yeah.
I would rather go small with Ben, with Batum, and Kawhi Leonard out there, so you have enough guys that are big and strong enough to still not get destroyed. So I think that makes sense.
So last thing I want to say is I'm really excited about the Clippers actually being able to win a championship this year. And it feels more real than years past, perhaps for a superstitious reason. It always felt to me like when the Clippers were favorites, they were doomed to lose. And it just kind of felt like if the Clippers were ever going to win a championship, it had to be a year when they were not expected to do anything. Because everything with the Clippers has been the hard way. And that makes me think this is a year that we're going to win it. So when Will Updike kept saying, this is the year that we're going to win, this is our year, I kind of believed it the whole time. So very, very excited about winning a championship this year.
I mean, I think he was being tongue in cheek, but now it's coming true anyways. So I will say this. At some point, if you're going to win a championship, as you go along throughout the playoffs, you can't fly under the radar the entire time. You're not going to be underdogs the entire time. You're going to have to meet lofty expectations. And I would say the biggest reason the Clippers haven't won a championship didn't have to do with them, I guess, not fulfilling those expectations I mentioned. It had to do with injuries. Like, they didn't win a championship in 2021 because Kawhi Leonard tore his ACL. That's why they didn't win. It had nothing to do with them, playing below their standard of being one of the best teams in the NBA. It had to do with bad luck. So I'm not, as long as Kawhi's healthy, I'm not really that worried about those expectations. It's nice that they can dunk on the media right now because they were proven to be wrong about the Clippers. But at some point, if you're going to be a contender, well, you're going to be talked about as one when the playoffs continue to move along, if you continue to win, Julio. So you got to get used to those expectations. You got to embrace them too. But I appreciate the phone call, Julio. Don't be a stranger here on Clippers Talk, huh?
Absolutely. Thank you for taking my call, eh?
Thank you. Somebody else calling in. What do we got here? Mystery caller. You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Muslim. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
What's up, Adam? It's J-Dog.
Oh, what up, J-Dog? Not a mystery caller.
It's been a while since. Yeah. It's been a while since I last called. The last time I called, remember we had talked about the 10-game sample when people were overreacting to Kawhi, the 10-game for Kawhi.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say he passed that.
Oh, yeah, with flying colors. I think he's good, guys.
Yeah, he's shattered.
As long as he's healthy, the amount of times that people counted out Kawhi Leonard and not being the same player, it goes back to his first season as a Clipper. I remember people then saying, like, oh, no, he's not moving that great. His second year, I remember people saying the same thing. Is this Wizards Jordan? Kawhi picks his spots. He ramps up at his own pace coming back from injury, and this time he couldn't train like he used to, so it was bound to take a little bit longer. That's all it was. But now he looks like prime Kawhi again, just in time for the playoffs, hopefully.
Exactly. And what were me and you saying, Adam? Calm down. It's just a little rough patch. Everything's going to get better, and look where we're at now.
Yeah, we had a lot of people panicking here, saying the Clippers aren't a championship team. They're not a contender. Lawrence Frank needs to be fired.
Exactly.
Fire Ty Lue, trade Kawhi. I heard it all. I've heard it all.
Exactly. And to back you up a little, Adam, I know guys in the chat always they'd be like, oh, you don't let's say our opinions. You always scold us. You tell us right away. I'm like, that's actually why I like watching your show, because you don't sugarcoat it, and like you're a realistic, rational fan. You're not like a irrational, like those overreacting fans. So I appreciate you for that, Adam, because you represent a very few percentage of us Clips fans, and it's nice to have someone with a voice that agrees with us.
Well, I appreciate that, J-Dog.
That's a big reason.
I'm trying here.
That's a big reason why I like listening to it.
I can only be me. I got to be my honest self, I know some people, once in a while, it rubs, a vocal minority rubs them the wrong way.
Yeah.
But look, it's also a show. I'm trying to make it entertaining, engaging, interesting. So that's all part of this too. But I am giving you my true thoughts on this team. I didn't come into this season saying it's our year. I wasn't like saying, it's a championship year for the Clippers. I said on the high end, I think they're the 6th seed. On the low end, they're the 10th seed.
Yeah.
But once I saw the defensive acumen from them over the first month and a half, I said, okay, now we got something different. They're so good defensively that if they can get Kawhi Leonard back and have him be the same guy he was last season, yes, you can be a contender. That's when I bought in by the end of November.
Yep, exactly. And me personally, I bought in since the offseason when Lawrence Frank immediately chose not to sign Paul George and brought in Derrick Jones. I said it to my he's a Laker fan, my friend. I was like, without Paul George now on the team, this team is going to be much better in the playoffs. And you could tell, and you see how like now those games like yesterday, it was a must-win game. They rested all their starters. Teams in the past, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, other Clippers teams in the past would have taken that game slightly. They wouldn't have took it serious.
Yeah.
They probably would have dropped it. And this team, yesterday, I felt a little worried because of the shooting that the Rockets had, but there was never a doubt in my mind that the Clippers were going to close it out. And that's what this team has made me believe now. Like, I don't believe we're going to drop those little measly games versus like the Pelicans one that we recently dropped before the Cavs one. That one was stupid. I had no idea how we dropped down, but
the Pelicans
like,
shot
like that.
50% from three.
Yeah, and on paper they have a good team. They had Zion playing. They had, I think McCollum was still playing at that time.
Yeah, CJ played in that game. I said it was a dangerous game. So the Clippers this season are 31-10 against teams below 500. They've been much better with handling their business overall. In fact, if I go back to last season, I'm curious to see what the record was last season here quickly, J-Dog.
Yeah, no, the eye test passes it on its own. That's why I'm just like, you pull up the stats, you're better with that. But I'm going off the eye test from the past years. Like in the past years, it felt shaky. It felt like, oh, we have a easy win game, and then we blow it. And this season, I didn't really feel as worried about those games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think.
To other seasons.
Remember when James Harden made that comment the other night, and people felt like it was pointed at Paul George. They thought he was criticizing Paul George and Russell Westbrook and saying, you know who was on last year's team. And I don't think that was necessarily a shot the way I heard it. He said multiple times it's a different roster. Like there's different guys on this team. But I think the point is there are guys who know their roles better than they did last season. There are more defined roles now. And that gives guys a chance to really hone in on just doing what they do best in their role instead of every night it's a moving target with what is being asked of somebody or what that player is giving out there and how he's playing. It's just, you know what your job is. Just do that job, star in your role. I think there's more guys like that now.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big reasons too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a Clips fan right now.
Good time to be a Clips fan. J-Dog, good time to have you on Clippers Talk.
That's all that's all I had to say, Adam. And then for the postseason, like I said, I always believed we were gonna be in the postseason. I always felt like we're gonna be a 7th through 5th seed. And now that we're getting closer to it, I'm starting to believe now, like how Will said, it might be our year. It really might be our year.
Yeah, let's hope. It starts with this. You know what I think about all the time?
Kawhi's health.
Yes, Kawhi's health. Everything starts there. That's what it's got to be. All we need is a healthy Kawhi, and then let the chips fall where they may. Because I think Clipper Nation could live with losing a series if they could just see the team fully healthy and just see what they have and what they can actually do out there. Because that's where you felt like you've been cheated over the years. We've never even got to really see it. Even the bubble, it's the bubble. It's so unique. It's different. And since then, Kawhi has not been able to stay healthy. I was listening to Dime Dropper a little bit earlier today. He brought up a good point. Kawhi hasn't finished a playoff series healthy since and lost that playoff series when he was healthy since 2016. If you go outside of the bubble, because that was just very different. He hasn't been able to finish a playoff series healthy that he lost since 2016 with San Antonio. So I think that speaks to, just how amazing of a player he is when he's right. You got a shot. That's all we want.
Yep.
All right, J-Dog.
Oh, yep. That's all I had to say, Adam.
Good stuff, my guy. I appreciate you. We'll see you back in the chat.
Bro. Yeah, we'll go on.
You too.
Sounds good.
J-Dog in here. If you guys want to get on, 877-520-1150. I'm waiting to see if we have a guest on here. I don't know if it's going to end up happening, as we've been going for almost an hour and a half now. We got through all the post-game audio. I think I got to most of the numbers I wanted to give you guys. I was trying to see if there was a clean post from Justin Russo about exactly what the Clippers need to happen for them to have a top 6 spot. But look, he does say this at Fly By Night. A Minnesota loss tonight and a Clippers win Friday means they will clinch a top 6 seed. So somebody in here, Terry, has been saying that no, there could be a 3-way tie. Terry said this: if we win against the Kings but lose to the Warriors, Warriors and Wolves win all their games, the order will be Wolves, Warriors, and Clippers. Okay, you're saying if the Wolves win all their games. Well, that would be different. So there is a chance if they won against the Kings, but the Warriors won out, the Wolves won out, that the Clippers in a 3-way tie would be behind Golden State and Minnesota. It's kind of a tough thing to calculate here. There's too many different options and variables going on. I do know this. This Clippers team is currently in the 5 spot. And I think, because I asked Justin Russo this in person last night, if they got a loss from Denver and the Clippers won out, they will be the 4 seed. I asked Justin Russo last night that. Because Minnesota's lost recently, Golden State has lost recently, they're tied with Denver. If Denver wins out and the Clippers win out, the Clippers will be behind them. But if Denver loses a game and the Clippers win out, they will be the 4 seed. That's a fact. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. Not fake news or whatever. The Nuggets' last 2 games, though, I think the best chance of them losing is tomorrow at home against the Memphis Grizzlies. But the Grizzlies play Minnesota tonight, so that's the second game of back-to-back. It could be very difficult getting that 4 spot. We need a Denver loss and the Clippers to win out, but it is possible. Denver's last game is in Houston against the Rockets. I assume the Rockets, considering they already weren't playing guys last night, aren't going to be playing guys the last game of the season. Wolves got Memphis tonight, then Utah and Brooklyn. So tonight's the night we need the Timberwolves to lose, because I don't think they're losing to the Jazz or the Nets. We got help from Milwaukee. We got help from San Antonio against Golden State. I am pretty sure about one thing. Clippers win out. Denver loses 1 game, and the Clippers are in the 4 spot. I think we take that. If they end up in the 5 spot, well, if they're going up against Denver, I don't necessarily hate that matchup, even though they got to start on the road. Speaking of, here's a man on the road up in my old neck of the woods. He probably didn't think I'd still be doing the show at this point. We're an hour and a half in, partially because I've been waiting for this guest because I knew you guys would want to hear from him. Let's bring him in. It is the great Law Murray from The Athletic up at Sacramento. Law, are you still at the airport?
I'm in downtown Sacramento now. I completely forgot that you were even doing the show, and I go through my email and I see your email. I'm like, oh shit, let me see if he's still on.
When in doubt, it's kind of like OKC with first round picks. If you're wondering who's got them, it's OKC. If you're wondering if I'm on, I'm probably on.
I'm not one to assume. You know what assuming does. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
I did not assume that Ivica Zubac would turn into a player who could get you a triple-double like he did last night, his first ever against the Houston Rockets. Now, he did have to play late, and Coach Lou was asked about that. Thought it could be some bad juju, but he gave him the opportunity because he was close. Bogey knocked down the 3 on the left wing on the DHO, and Big Zoo got his first ever triple-double. We had a caller earlier, Law, ask, how much more room does Zoo have till he reaches his ceiling? Like, can he be a superstar in this league? Do we really know exactly what we have with Ivica Zubac yet, or is there still more to his game? What do you think?
Honestly, I've enjoyed the season so much, man. From him, especially, it brings me a lot of joy. Like, I'm up here beaming about it now. No pun intended, because I know the beam is around here somewhere. But I just think that his season has just been inspirational as hell. You know, like Zoo's not exactly a young guy anymore. You know, he's in his late 20s. He's on like his 4th contract or something like that. He's been on this team longer than anybody, literally longer than every single player on that roster. And here he is having statistical achievements that we've never seen before. It really reminds me of DeAndre Jordan having the year that he had when he was an all-star, you know. But he's way better than DeAndre. Like, let's just be real, you know. And so if you just listen to Zoo, though, so much of this just comes from getting the damn basketball in his hands. Like, you know what I mean? You have to get a triple-double. Assists, we know a lot of assists are candy, but, like, you're getting a lot of assists if you have the ball so often that you are then getting it back out with enough time for someone else to score in the first place, to get successful attempts in the first place. So, you know, this is that's the thing. It's like, how much of it is Zoo getting better and how much of it is Zoo just getting more opportunity? I think it's both. And so the ceiling for Zoo won't be realized until he does what I tell him every single media day. And that's to make, you know, these coaches believe that you can actually expand your shooting range. So that's where, you know, is there a hard ceiling for Zoo? That's where it is. Can Ivica Zubac be the kind of player that is comfortable catching and shooting? And there was a time in his career when he was with the Lakers where there was more comfort there, where you thought that maybe he'd get there. And so there is another step for him. He's a fair free throw shooter. You know, I would call him a C- free throw shooter, right? If he can get more comfort and more consistency at the stripe, but also just being able to knock down shots outside the paint with regularity, then you might actually see even more expansion of what he's able to do. And there's a history of centers who've been able to do that maybe in the second half of their careers or whatever, as they approach 30 and they develop that, they get more comfort with that. So I'm not going to completely dismiss that for Zoo, but we know that Tyronn Lue is the type of coach who he needs to really see it behind closed doors to think that you're going to do it in real NBA games that matter. And I mean, what's interesting about the triple-double, it came against the Houston Rockets in the last week of the season. The only three-pointer Ivica Zubac has ever made in his career came in a game that the Clippers were trying to tank in 2021, the last week of the season against the Houston Rockets. It was in Houston. Zoo hit that three. He celebrated. He was on the bench the very next play because they weren't trying to win that game. So I'm just going to that's where it is for Zoo. How much more can he expand his repertoire? And shooting is the obvious thing that we'll all ask about. But I love that he's, you know, I asked him earlier in the week about working with Amir Johnson and working with Jay Larranaga. You know, I've loved talking to Amir. You know, me and Amir high school class of 05. So they know that when you have a player like him and teams see the production, they're like, okay, we need to take him seriously. And Zoo understands that. So that means he needs to expand even what he does with how he works. It's like teams know you're going to go for that hook or spin and go back to the left hook. You got to come up with even more. You got to be able to face teams up, drive, and the passing has been a great development. I want to see him get to the line more, and I want to see him it's not going to happen this year, but sometime during this contract that he's currently on, let's see if he develops that comfort shooting outside the paint.
Islam Murray from The Athletic. Read his latest NBA power rankings. Knicks Clippers move up while other teams search for answers. Kawhi Leonard was on something different to me last night with how aggressive he was attacking the basket. I posted on X the 2 dunks he missed, and to me, those were the 2 most impressive plays of the game. Even though he missed them, I was like, oh, okay, Kawhi. What type of time is he on? Is this just him testing out his body before the playoffs? What's going on?
Yeah, man, it's about to be playoff time. The force that he brings to the basket is the foundation of a scorer. And I don't think he was fairly efficient last night at all. 22 points on 22 shots. And I think he played through it. He got better as the game went on. But his most explosive plays were incredible. I was sitting on the dunks all night because I knew coming into the game, Amir Coffey had one more dunk than him. And it's funny because if y'all go, I don't know how y'all treat the stuff that I put on as far as videos and stuff. I don't do the best job of it. And I know consumers don't do a very good job of keeping track of what I say. And I know people will clip stuff off that I ask and clip me out the interview. So, there are things that I've said and had discussions with players, and people won't track it to me or whatever. But I talked to Amir about the fact that he was dunking more than ever, right? That Amir Coffey had his career high in dunks and got that done early in the season. I'm like, dude, what got into you? A lot of it for him, it was like, well, I'm in transition more. I'm playing. I'm getting these opportunities. I'm more aggressive. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I think it's all good. Dunks are health for me. And so Kawhi is showing that he's healthy. He's showing that he's explosive. He's showing that he is going to be aggressive. And, yeah, he had them dunks in the second quarter. I'm like, well, he's dunked more than Amir Coffey this year. And he's dunked more than every single Clipper except for Vincent Zubac and Derrick Jones Jr., despite not coming to the team and playing in these games until January 4th. He's done this in, 3 months, a little over 3 months of playing. The minutes are the thing to watch for. Kawhi Leonard is we're done with back-to-backs. Kawhi is going to play as many minutes as necessary for the Clippers to get out of these wins. They are not worried about wearing him down. He's feeling good. And, 35 minutes is like maybe the average, but they have no problem playing that dude 40 minutes. So everything that I've seen from Kawhi has been a positive, especially considering where we are. We're in Sacramento. When I was in Sacramento a year ago, that's when this saga started with his knee, him not being able to play after they were in Philadelphia, Orlando, and Charlotte. The turnaround has been amazing, and hopefully it continues.
Speaking of injuries, you reported that Nico Batum said he was good last night. He was fine post-game after the groin tweak.
I talked to him. He said he's fine. He was walking okay. And his kid was making Derrick Jones Jr. hella mad last night. So everything seemed to be in good spirits. We'll see what the injury report says in a couple hours.
Do you expect Norman Powell to be on the injury report?
If he is, I think there's no concern there. Norm played 40 minutes on the front end of a back-to-back. We know that Norm has struggled with soft tissue injuries. They put him on with a shoulder, held him out. I think Norm's fine. If he's on the injury report, I expect him to play.
I was looking up some of the numbers, and I think you've had this in your articles too, but now it's over their last 19 games where they're 16-3. They're the best three-point shooting team in the league by like 2%. They're at 43% from the outside over that span. And teams are only shooting 33% from three against them, which is the second best opponent three-point percentage.
Sure as hell wasn't the case last night.
No, not last night. That they were first, and that dropped them to second after Houston went 50% on 20 of 40 shooting from three. Like, is that at all? I don't know, slightly concerning that it's just not sustainable, that you're going to constantly shoot 10% better than your opponent over 19 games? Because that's what's been happening from three.
Well, I think that what it's a combination of is, number one, if we can be real about the stretch that the Clippers are on, I don't mean this disrespectfully. I just speak facts, and I think people understand, and, I'm pretty consistent about that. The Clippers are not getting the best version of the opponents that they're facing, okay? So we need to be real about that part. And I think if the Clippers are real about that, then they understand what they're facing going forward. This is silly season. 16-3 in the last quarter of the year doesn't hit the same as 16-3 in the middle of the year when everybody is playing for the most and everything. So that's not to take away from the Clippers' accomplishment. It's to give context to what kind of teams that they're facing. They're not seeing Jalen Brunson. They're not seeing John Morant. They're not seeing Alperen Şengün. They're not seeing Zion Williamson, even from the teams that are out of it. You're facing teams that are battered, resting, not giving as much of a damn as they were a month or so ago, whatever. I think the Clippers want to they want to reestablish their defense. That slipped a bit this week. And they got 2 games that matter, obviously, in Sacramento and Golden State. Those are not good shooting teams. They have reputations for shooting well, but they're not good shooting teams. In other words, if you come in with a defensive mindset, if you're physical, if you force them to take the shots you want them to take, if you are making them think about, closeouts, and if you're sharp and the communication is there, that's a lot of factors, but that's what goes into defending shooters specifically. Then you're going to be in good shape. But if you're letting those guys get comfortable early, then you're in trouble and you're putting your standing up for severe risk. And so I think that it's those two things. I think the personnel, the Clippers aren't facing the best personnel. Like, I saw the New Orleans Pelicans shoot horrible last week, right? We know that wasn't the case in the other Pelicans games this year in New Orleans. But also, it's a matter of when the Clippers are on their game defensively, teams don't get comfortable shots. And when they're not, like last night, they were soft last night. So Reed Shepherd looked great. Aaron Holiday came in, and he looked like a guy who should be playing more for Houston. The Clippers made those dudes look great last night. And we all know that maybe in some different circumstances, neither one of those guys play in a real game for Houston. You don't want that. I think the coaches understand that. The players understand that. And I don't think you're too concerned about results. I think you have to just put the context behind it.
2 more for you here, Law. What do they need to be concerned with this Sacramento team tomorrow night? What do they have to key in on to not have a big letdown?
Well, shoot, the only time Kawhi hasn't dropped 20 points in a game since the beginning of March was when the Kings visited Intuit Dome. And the Kings
But the game winner.
The Kings should have beat the Clippers. The Kings had, a 7-point lead or something like that under 2 minutes to play. The Clippers, they were up 6. And so the Kings have the personnel. I'm pretty sure Demonis didn't play that night. Demonis will be back. The Kings have talent, okay? They have talent where it matters, which is at the top. What the Kings don't have is they don't have depth and they're not playing their best basketball. But, it's the same thing. You let Zach LaVine get comfortable and, good luck. Like, that dude is flammable. DeMar DeRozan is very comfortable with his game. You can get him uncomfortable, but if he's going to have it going, you're in trouble. And they have several hubs of offense. They can play through Zach. They can play through DeMar. And they're more than likely going to play through Domantas Sabonis. So you have to defend early, and you have to play from ahead so that the Kings are playing the kind of game that you want them to play. I think if the Kings are playing from ahead, the Kings have shown that they can blow leads, but you don't want to play with that in their building, especially with the Kings. They still have a little something to play for. They have to hold off Dallas for that 9. Sacramento can only be 9 or 10, and they have a 1-game advantage, so they can lock that down. I mean, the Kings don't want to go to Dallas for any reason, so that's really the concern. Like, don't disrespect your opponent for any reason. Your record doesn't matter coming in, except for the fact that you know you're playing well. The Kings know they're not playing as well. So, if let's just say if the game goes like it went last night, the Clippers will be in trouble. They need to just reestablish their defense and do what they've done best when they played the Kings, which is get that lead early and minimize the impact of anything late.
Lastly, Law, you've mentioned before that you don't like Houston in a matchup in a 7-game series for the Clippers. What do you think would be the most favorable and realistic matchup for them? Currently, they'd be in that 4-5 against Denver.
Yeah, I mean, I think playing Denver sounds pretty good. I want nothing to do with that series because of the noise involved with some of the players on the Denver Nuggets, but that's another story entirely.
No, do tell.
Oh, I don't. I have no interest in talking about the Denver Nuggets. I think it's been pretty loud enough over the last week, so I got nothing to say about Denver. I will just say
that's the best matchup. That's the best of the worst options.
I mean, I don't feel like the Clippers are in a position to pick and choose, and neither am I. Like, I think that I can say what matchups don't favor the Clippers, and then there's steps below that. If the Clippers are in the play-in tournament, I don't think it's great. Like, even with Houston being undermanned and the one starter who did play was super disinterested in Jalen Green, like, the Rockets have several defensive options and confidence that they know how they want to play against the LA Clippers. So I don't think they want to really be dealing with that. And then OKC has all of that, and their pressure is better than Houston's pressure. And they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is an actual problem. None of Houston's offensive threats are guys who you look at and it's like, oh, that's going to be a guy we can't deal with for a series. Houston doesn't have that player. OKC does. Stay the hell out of the play-in tournament. That's all the Clippers should be worried about. Like, if they have a series, I can talk about my personal preferences about who I want to cover and where I want to go, But the reality is, I think the Clippers just need to take care of their damn business, get as high a seed as possible, stay the hell out the play-in. And all these teams are going to present challenges, but everybody outside the top two gives you some opportunities. Obviously, I don't think they want to mess with the Lakers either, just because, again, the Lakers have LeBron and Luka. Like, that's just stressful. Even if you get through that in the first round, you got to then go to Houston or OKC after that, more than likely. I think, seeding is just – I don't care about seeding even. Like, I remember, 2 years ago where the 2 seed was out, in the first round. The
Memphis,
3 seed was out in the first round. Like, you just got to play and be healthy and play your best. I think that's the Clippers' priority. I don't think picking an opponent or saying, hey, I prefer this team, I don't think that exists. Even with Memphis. Yes, you went 3-0 against Memphis, but you only played Ja in one of those games, okay? When you talk about the Golden State Warriors, we all know that the Golden State Warriors team that the Clippers beat 3 times ain't the Golden State Warriors that you're going to see Sunday on national TV and the matinee game on the road. It's just going to feel different. And so just worry about yourself. And worrying about yourself means win the games and stay healthy and be prepared for whoever.
La Murray is up in NorCal covering your Los Angeles Clippers as they close out the season at Sacramento, at San Francisco against Golden State Warriors, as he mentioned on Sunday. Follow Law at La Murray, the NU. He's back on X. Subscribe to him with The Athletic. You will be rewarded. Law, thanks for doing this here on Clippers Talk. I appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate it. I'm about to get some grub and get on with my day. Peace.
Get it. Enjoy. There goes La Murray. Before we get out of here, I got a special treat for you guys. We were playing a certain soundbite earlier that I think everybody here is very familiar with. Well, the source of that soundbite is with us. Clayvon from Michigan is here on Clippers Talk. Clayvon, you got 5 minutes. Let it rip.
Woo! Hey, yo, I'm going to tell you right now, Clippers is getting strong now. Hey, I love Lob Murray. I love Adam. I'm going to tell you something, man. This is a Cinderella story. Don't ever get it twisted. I have to offer a counter rebuttal to what Law was saying. It's true. It's real true, Adam. We haven't played some of these teams at their best, but then a lot of these teams haven't played our Clippers at our best. And I think that they underestimate us. That's what we have going for us. The Clippers have an uncanny ability to take advantage of certain opportunities that we're given. And with that triple C, that confidence that we have as a team, and we're humble. Like I said before, Adam, we got a beautiful, beautiful team that's mixed with veterans, mid-range, mid-career veterans, Nico Batum, older veterans, and we got some potential beautiful rookies, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we have the ability to catch everybody else off guard. We are divine opportunists, Adam. We are divine opportunists. We've been underdogs for so long, I think that everybody just got used to us being, oh, well, we'll take them out in the first seed, we'll take them out in the second. No, I'm confident right now that we keep playing with that same confidence. Yo, when I saw Zubac pass it to both y'all, I was like, damn. Yo, you can't make that shit up. You can't. You cannot make that up, man. That was so sweet. But that's something that we see uniquely for the Clippers. We get in these situations where everybody put us down and we just show up, and when we're healthy, we confident, and we cooperating, it's a whole nother story because we have the talent. We have the depth. And now we have everybody healthy. Yo, this is a whole different story that the West really hasn't seen. And, yo, I have to agree. Like when Paul George was in, I think that was J-Dog that was saying that earlier. When Paul George, when he said, hey, we traded off Paul George and we picked up Derrick Jones Jr., I was like, everybody's like, oh, it's over. It's over. I'm like, yeah, right. Now we have the ability to pick up depth. Everybody was all struggling for, we got all these all-stars at once. Who's going to get that playing time? Yo, you have the younger dudes seeing that. You have the mid-range or mid-career players like Ibiza Zubac seeing that, and they're like, damn, dog, I'm just looking for my chance to get off. And now look at Ibiza Zubac. Yes, his ceiling has not been reached. Man, look, just seeing him shoot that three-pointer, I forgot about that. Man. I was like, he has the ability to be a mid-range shooter. Nobody else is throwing up them sky hooks like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar like him. He up there throwing them mugs up, and he got them looking crazy. Look, it's beautiful. It's footwork. It's because everybody wants to be out there. Their chemistry is off the charts. So, yeah, we have caught a lot of these teams. You know what I'm saying? We caught a lot of them when they weren't at their best, but they caught us how many years when we weren't at our best? So now this is a whole nother dynamic. Yeah, we got to deal with OKC. Man, and when we did go against OKC and we dealt with them, look, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's going to do his thing. A good amount of their players were on the bench. But one of the things is that they all have good chemistry as well. Even the Rockets, man, I was like, damn, they out there shooting threes. I was like, man, but I never had a doubt in that game that we wasn't. I'm looking at it with my sons, man. Got these young Clipper fans coming and joining the team. We sitting there looking at it, man, sitting on the edge, yo, woo! You know what I'm saying? Cheering. It was beautiful, man. Why? Because we see some players that actually want to be out there. You know, they passing the ball. Everybody, Nico Batum shooting lights out. But see, that's what he does. All we need is that divine opportunity. We have the ability to go ahead and run with this, Adam. That's the beautiful thing about it. We have the ability to take off. Yo, Ben Simmons is playing like he want to be there. Put that shit up, man. Put it up. Yeah, we have the eye of the tiger. And I think that a lot of people is like, you can't be analytical and you can look at it clear as day, black and white. But a lot of people don't see that overhand hook coming. I think Clippers have that overhand hook. And then when we go into these different games and we're healthy and we're confident, yeah, I would say that because I much respect to the Pelicans, man, and Zion Williamson, all right, and Herb Jones and those individuals. A lot of people don't say nothing about Herb Jones. Herb Jones be busting. But my thing is this. A lot of these individuals don't recognize us when we are healthy. And then it's one thing to be healthy and not be confident and have the chemistry that's necessary to make these things move forward. We rotate the ball, we passing the ball, we playing in transition. And I understand, too, the inconsistency with the three-pointers. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? But we are coming into the greater part of us in preparation for the playoffs. So I have the confidence that whoever we play, as long as we keep this same caliber of chemistry, it wouldn't really matter. It don't matter. Why? Because everybody's playing like they want to be there. We don't have any internal fighting. We don't have anybody that's have this overbearing ego that's overshadowing other players. Look, man, this is like the first time we really had that. So on paper, one can say that we haven't played these different teams at their best. That's fine. But these different teams haven't seen us at our best. We haven't seen that. What is that? You said that about, no, I think that was Law Murray said that about Kawhi Leonard. He basically his playoff runs and so far as 2016, you know, he hasn't really lost like that, and him being healthy and his health issues. This is all good. This is all fine. But right now, I'm seeing James Harden play at a caliber he hasn't played since he was at the Rockets. Yeah, he don't have to do everything anymore. He's putting up these shots. He's passing the ball. These players are playing like they want to be there. They playing like a family. Yo, last time I was seeing that, I saw that with the Bulls. I saw that with the Jazz when they were playing the Bulls. We got old school chemistry going. And I think that I heard you saying that last night. Yes, I think our losses define us. Everybody's looking at it like, damn, y'all had these losses, man. Y'all like it. No, man, that's what defined us early. And I think that we actually do better amongst the chaos. All these other teams is dealing with the injuries and the issues that we dealt with in the beginning of the season. And we got that out of our system early. So now we playing with this different confidence and this different ability that we've never seen ourselves. It's kind of like you realizing you can go Super Saiyan. They like, damn, I didn't even know I got the green eyes, the blonde hair and shit. Yeah, it's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's rejuvenating. I'm looking at the Clippers fans. I've never seen so many Clipper fans popping up in my life, man. Yo, we got something right now. We have it. And what we have right now is the ability to upset everybody in the league. Even if we play the Lakers with Luka Doncic and with LeBron James, yeah, it's going to be tough. But at the same time, being healthy and being able to work around the perimeter and utilize our three-point shooters, man, we got some slick shooters. Yo, you can't tell me nothing. When Visa Zubac got his final assist for that triple-double and he passed it to Bogey, that was love. What do you say? You ain't got to play. You got to pay for another meal for the rest of the day. Yo, Visa Zubac was grateful. And he be sounding like Rocky Balboa sometime, man. Hey, yo, Adrian. He be having it, man. When I see his interviews and stuff like that, man, you can't tell me this ain't no Rocky story. We are the underdogs, and I love it. I wouldn't have it no other way. We don't want to be the cats that's always expected to do this and that, because then we get shocked and surprised. We got that shock factor. Yo, it's different, man. And we coming out of the cut, I think that, the biggest thing that we could do is play the OKC Thunders and actually play them at the full. Because when we play against hard teams like that help us realize ourselves. I got to go back to the Super Saiyan with Goku. Goku realized when he fought a stronger enemy, he was like, damn, okay, this is what I need to do. This is our losses define us. Those same losses define who we need to be, and we find out where we need to go, and we adapt. We adapt amidst combat, and then it'll be some games where we don't have the three's not falling, or we'll get a little lackluster in our defense because we get overconfident. All those things have to happen now. Yeah, we're going against the Sacramento Kings. Hey, man, I'm a fan of DeMar DeRozan. And even though I'm in Michigan, I'm still from Cali, dog. It's in my blood, man. But understand this. when we play against these individuals like the Kings and these teams that do have that hidden it factor, we love that. That's the stuff that we need. I don't care if they come in healthy, certain players sit down, or they bring out all their players. They don't want to see us pumping on all cylinders, because when we do, we always come out with that underdog story. Nobody saw us beating the Rockets. Even though Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green, they sat down, that's fine. That is fine. Because guess what? They already have that, not saying them as individuals, but the coaching staff, they tend to look over us. You know what I'm saying? Because we have always been that underdog team. But, man, that's the thing that we need to go all the way. We can do that, And I think that now that we have the Intuit Dome and that we have our own identity, that's done something to us. That's why, Adam, what's our win-lose ratio at the Intuit Dome again?
30-11, 30-7 after losing their first 4 games.
Oh, my God. Come on now. Why? That's our Cinderella story. Man, you better go on and pass that glass slipper, because we sliding on the foot of the Clippers. Man, look, we ain't got to worry about turning into a pumpkin again, like you said, as long as Kawhi Leonard stays healthy. We're in a different zone. It's different right now. And a lot of Clipper fans ain't accustomed to it, right? But at the same time, look at the players on the floor. They're not accustomed to it either. Yo, a lot of people we're not used to being at 100%. And when we recognize it, when we realize what we have, everybody playing with a whole nother tenacity. They're like, man, shit, we can do this. It's like having somebody that's powerful and strong but don't recognize their strength until they get into a hard dog fight. We love those dog fights. That's why I always make the references to Rocky Balboa. He got Apollo Creed to the point where he had to recognize his strength when he started hitting them with those body shots, busting up them ribs and shit. That's what we do. We bust up the other team's ribs in a way that they have to recognize, damn, the Clippers are good. We not just some one-off team. We have good, inconsistent games where we're good here, and then we come back and then we trash a couple of games. That's not the same team anymore. After we made these initial trades, man, we picked up some awesome players. We got rid of one star and picked up an awesome roster. And now we have this diversity that nobody has seen in the NBA for years, man.
Clayvon,
I believe we're good.
What's your prediction for what happens tomorrow in Sacktown?
Man, my prediction is this, Adam. Check this out. I believe when we go out there, we're pumping on all cylinders. I think this is one of the games that we play with a good amount of defense because we recognize what we have in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. We go out there and I believe that if we continue to play how we move the ball, especially in the post and around the arc, I believe that our three-point game will be consistent. All right, I think that we take the win, and after we take the win, it's going to start showing everybody that we are a playoff championship contending team. All right, so what we right now we're in we're in fifth place right now, right?
Yep.
Woo! Fifth place. Go from eighth. Look, man, we're going to run over the Sacramento Kings. We have to because we have the divine will to do it. This is our time. This is Clippers' time. You don't want to get hit by no Clipper because it's going to cut your ass in half. You understand? This is our time. And we finally getting to see it. And it's happening in 3D. All right? Live action. And now that we can comprehend it together, man, please. We got the strongest fan base. The Lakers and all of them, they're used to all we got. They'll always say, well, how many rings do you have? How many championships does your team have? Yo, man, we so hungry, we can feel it. We out here. So, when you hungry as hell, you eat a good meal, you want to get to sucking their fingers and shit, you're looking for crumbs. That's what we've been so long, dog. Now we actually eating some prime ribs. We are eating a good meal. We are eating Wagyu steak. And we recognizing, damn, this is how it is to be at the top. And most of all, we have humility. So, yes, we will beat the Sacramento Kings. And we will finish the Warriors because they have their own issues to deal with. Now they're dealing with issues that we already got past. When we had P.J. Tucker, what was that? I think Jimmy Butler had got suspended because he didn't show up to a practice. We're past all of that. Everybody wants to be here. And when you have a Clippers team filled with these veterans, these real ones that want to be here, please, you can have the youngest, most talented team. But one of the things that I did notice with OKC, right, where they do lose, everybody jumps on shot. They jump down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's throat. Even though we have the good game, well, you didn't have these rebounds. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Look, understand this. They're going through the internal fighting that we went through last year. We went through all of that. And I think that's ultimately going to derail them later on in the playoffs, because as soon as they lose one big game in a series or something, it's going to be a lot of internal fighting. We don't have that right now. Even in our losses, we was used to these losses, losing against weaker teams or even losing against the Pelicans and the Rockets at their best so many times. But, man, we dealt with the internal fighting. We know how it feels to be winners, and we know how it feels to be losers. And a lot of teams that's been roaring early in the season and have these dynamic records, they don't know how that feels. And we know how it feels. So we are a team that plays with humility, with humbleness, with chemistry, and we also play with confidence. And I believe right now we play at a dynamic way that the whole NBA is put on standby. Let's get it. With that shit up, Ben, and Ben Simmons, he gonna start. Look, mark my words. I don't know if it's gonna be before the playoffs or these last two games, or during the playoffs, or these last two games before the playoffs. But with Ben Simmons, man, and I haven't always been no Ben Simmons fan. But let me tell you something. When he recognizes himself again, they are going to have an issue. I noticed that. I think he came in for like 12 minutes the other night. He had, I forgot how many rebounds and assists. And I'm like, look, yeah, Ben Simmons don't always have to put that shit up. But at the same time, he is able to facilitate. We have a whole bunch of players that are willing to facilitate and play these roles. And there's no egos. Man, that shit is different. It's different, man. So look, Adam, we're going to put them down. We're going to step over the Kings. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, we show them their respect. You know what I'm saying? Because they still a Cali team. Same thing with the Warriors. We're going to step over them. And when we head into the playoff, regardless of who we face, as long as we have the triple C, we don't have to worry about nothing. We don't have to, because we already have that it factor. And we putting everybody on notice. All right, shout out to Adam, Law Murray, my boy J-Dog. Y'all love it when y'all come on and y'all put your 2 cents in. Because, hey, and I'm going to tell you like this. When you have Lauren on, hey, man, I don't know. Y'all need to link up more, Adam, because I'm going to tell you, most female casters, I'd be like, you know what I'm saying, because of ESPN. But when you and her come on, y'all have a dope on-screen chemistry, man. Shit, it adds to the commentation. It adds to everything that y'all putting out there. Keep that up, Adam. That shit is fire.
All right, Clayvon. Well, I think you just added to the commentation. Appreciate you calling in and rolling for 23 minutes here on Clippers Talk. Clayvon, hopefully we'll be talking to you post-game after a Clippers victory tomorrow night in Sacramento.
Man, you know what it is, Adam. All the way. I'm going to be calling in, win, lose, or draw. And I love y'all. Let's keep it popping. Woo! Put that shit up, man.
Finish your thought. One more, Clayvon. 10 seconds. Go.
Yo, and for everybody out there in the comment boards, check this out. Yo, we a family, all right? No more infight, no more talking shit. Let's keep that rolling, because it's the same positive energy we need to head out there, all right? And I'm going to say it again. Getting strong now. No, fuck that. Because it's that eye of the tiger. Yeah, I don't know the rest of the words right now, but shit. We got that motherfucking eye of the tiger. Let's get it, Adam. Woo!
There he goes. There's your walk-off. Clayvon from Michigan. Wow. I got enough sound bites to do a completely different show. Clayvon just gave us material for a year. Or at least to sustain us throughout the playoff run. Unreal. All right. I'm getting out of here for now. Clips and dip later tonight. I appreciate you guys. Subscribe and like, please. It would help out the channel. Trying to get to 4K before the playoffs start. We're not too far away. I mean, if you can't subscribe and like after that motivational speech from Clayvon, what's it going to take? We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Pre-game at 6. Clippers in Sacramento in game 81 of the regular season. Be good, everybody. Wait, do I play it one more time here? Do I play it one more time? Clayvon, 10 seconds, go.
Yo, and for everybody out there in the comment boards, check this out. Yo, we a family, all right? No more infight, no more talking shit. Let's keep that rolling because it's the same positive energy we need to head out there, all right? And I'm going to say it again. Getting strong now. No, fuck that. Because it's that eye of the tiger. Yeah, I don't know the rest of the words right now, but shit. We got that motherfucking eye of the tiger. Let's get it, Adam.